This is State of the Galaxies, your bi-monthly resource of me telling you I'm going to do things and then not doing them.
Great show.
Isn't that amazing? It's always
Great.
difficult to follow up, settle it on the screen, because I'm just, I'm just not as entertaining. But this time, this State of the Galaxies, I at least have a lot of information that I'm going to go through, and I'll probably try to do it quickly. What's up, Data God? What's up, F Symbols? And everybody else who's watching who wants to get the inside scoop on the very nature of the galaxies. You know, in Star Wars, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, things happened, but that was just one galaxy. Here you're at twin galaxies. And so you're now about to find out the state of the galaxies. I always thought it was interesting that people who join the twin galaxy community technically could be called Galaxians, right?
Yeah.
And then that means there's an arcade machine where you're getting killed. Because that's what you do in the arcade Galaxian. You kill Galaxians. Makes me sad. Grown? Come on, anime. That was comedy. That was like premium grade comedy. Street Thinker, what's up? What's up, Captain Jive Pants? All right. I'm going to try to roll through this pretty quick because there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to try to get to. Feel free to Skype in and talk to me on, all you got to do is open up Skype and type in TG Live 2, TG Live 3, TG whatever, and you can fire questions at me that way, or you can just type in the chat because I can see up there. That's why I'm always looking up there, because there's like this array of monitors beaming down at my head. A Galagan. A Valagan. All right, here we go. First thing, let's just get this out of the way. We always keep seeing this in every State of the Galaxies video. Why? Because submission videos are a heart piece of the Twin Galaxies adjudication system, and it has been a very complex technological task to implement video uploading in an effective way that works for everybody across the globe. And we finally have literally every single thing addressed except for one thing. But, so all video problems should be solved across the board. You should be able to upload, not get canceled out, nothing. Now that the videos are private in our own private system, you're not getting attacked by the content ID system of YouTube or anything else. Any type of video game you want to upload now can go up there undisturbed, because we're trying to record these performances and document them. The only thing that's left, is the file size limit, because right now you can upload five gigabyte files as part of a single submission, but we want to update that so that you can upload 10 gigabyte files. So each submission can be up to 50 gigabytes. There's some technology involved in doing that, but we should have that finished sometime in September in this coming month. And then at that point, video's done. It is superior to any other system for video uploading, for high scores. It is a permanent archive, unlike things like Twitch, which I'll talk to the speedrun community about at some point, because anyway, that's a sidebar. So that's video. If you do have problems, is this live or repeat? Star Critus, this is live. Come on.
Nice.
I do this every 2 weeks, so every other week it's a repeat, but this is live, so feel it. Any update on MES submissions or Commodore 64 submissions? No. Other than, so you're talking about Commodore 64 emulation submissions? That's actually not too hard to address. It's just lower down on the list, although I really would love to get Commodore 64 competitions going and leaderboards going, because personally, I'm a big Commodore fan. I had Commodores all growing up and know everything about them and program them, and I love that community and what it does. Amiga too. So It just has not bubbled to the top. I think just in terms of tracking different emulators, we're just going to be able to do that now. It's not as rough as it was in the past. So we will get to that. MES as a platform, probably could be added. I don't see why it couldn't be added. And I know it's this, it's trying to be the end all be all of emulation. So there's nothing against it. Just haven't gotten to it yet. That's all. How is that Lake Powell submission from January still open with a ton of rejects? Well, how do you know how many rejects it has? You're just going by the comments? Because that's all the information you have. For all you know, there could be a bunch of accepts on the other side of that. Remember, not everybody who writes on the comment thread, A, votes what they wrote, B, votes at all, they just comment, and then there's a bunch of people who aren't commenting who are just voting. It's very interesting. So you can get a flavor, but really what you should look for in those threads is real honest to goodness critical information that helps you figure out whether or not you believe that the performance is a legitimate one, meeting the rules and all that, or not. Just because someone types reject, you shouldn't just look at that and go, oh yeah, I'm just going to type reject too because they said it. I mean, depending on who said it. But I just think, use your own head, make your own judgments over the course of time, which is what this system is designed to accommodate. It's designed to accommodate a tremendous number of decisions, a huge amount of input over time, resulting in a cumulative effect. So just, you got to go with what you believe and use your expertise and your knowledge and just play the long game, not the short game. All right, moving on. These are some questions that have come in. I'm going to try to knock these questions out more quickly so I can get to the other stuff. I feel lately that the presence of TG staff on the forums has been lacking from where it was a month or two ago. Score, track errors, questions on the forums, they don't seem to be addressed as frequently before. I can tell you why that is. It's called summer and people taking vacations. That's what it's called. So, yes, there are human beings actually behind the engineering and problem solving, and yes, sometimes they actually have to take a vacation. So shit slows down. But that's really what's been going on. I mean, there's a lot of work going on bigger picture items, which I'll get to, but in general, what you're feeling is the summer happening. And you should start to feel things starting to pick up at the beginning of this next coming week, and then start getting back to the thing. So, what you're feeling was not imaginary; it was actual. But we have people still working on the forums, checking everything while they're on vacation. So just know that they're dedicated. Moving on. How does TG plan to handle tracked games that are patched? That's an interesting issue, because the fact that a game is patched may or may not have any impact on the actual gameplay, but you still can say that it's not the same game as it was before. So I really think that the best way to deal with that is on a case-by-case basis for each game and for the people who are submitting on that game, and really letting the community for that game decide whether a patch has gone too far and has now fundamentally changed what the competitive the challenge is. And in those cases, we will either add a column to that particular leaderboard to indicate version number. Another thing that's automatically considered is the date that the adjudication was achieved, because you'll know when a patch has taken place date-wise But we can add a column that can help specify version of game, so you can type that in, very similar to how we do with main version. Or I think in some cases you probably want to just actually create another track variation and name the track variations by their version, by what patch level they're at. You can get kind of dicey. There's really no super elegant solution for something like this, because when you have a game that's changing like that, it's changing. So your leaderboard has to kind of change with it. But once that happens, you can't really compete against someone who set a score a year ago on a different patch level, unless you have that unpatched version yourself. So I think it's just something that we're going to have to look at on a case-by-case basis. It's not, there's no simple answer for that one. And let's see, Jive Pants demands more forum attention. No! You'll get nothing and like it. Okay. Moving on. How do you compete on something which, by its very nature, is different for different users? I can't answer that question. That totally revolves around the community's generation of specific tracks. Twin Galaxies is set up to have a rule set and then adjudicate against a rule set. It is allowing the community to define a rule set and set up a track, so you can define whatever those parameters are, but you know, some games are not competitive, right? You have to really construct a crap ton of rules around something. It's like there's a sandbox over there. You can just do anything you want in the sandbox. How do you compete in it, right? Like what's the competition? Okay, then you have to start creating rules. First person to make a sand castle, and the castle has to be 2 feet high, and you know, you start creating limitations around it to make it so that it's not different for every person. But this is one of those philosophical questions, I think. My voice is almost the same as your English teacher's voice. You know what's interesting? My voice is very close to Michael Dorn, if you know who that is. That's Worf from Star Trek, The Next Generation. So when I sit up and kind of do this, I can go, "Shields are holding. Captain, they're hailing us." And it kind of gets really close. "If you were any other man, I would kill you where you stand." Okay, moving on. Any updates on discussions with the SDA community? I have been working with Twin Galaxies members who also are members of the SDA community to figure out the best approach for this conversation. Remember, we do have 33,000 speedrun tracks already ready to go in the database that are just turned off. And I think before we turn them on again, it's important that we walk the key members of the speedrun community through what the intention is behind that whole thing. And you know, I've been working with Jesse Porter and Andrew Gardicus, or Dickus, I think it's Gardicus. Gardicus? Spartacus. Andrew Spartacus.
I'm the worst person to ask.
And you know, trying to figure out what's the best approach, how to talk about it. You know, there's Twin Galaxies, with its creation of the player skill index, which is literally computing an aggregate sort of measurement system across a bunch of games for a game player. It's really the only system out there that even contemplates doing something like this. But it's through that system that we'll be able to create far more recognition for players, far more opportunities for players, and because a video game player is a three-dimensional being. They're not just one game, you know, and people can understand that and appreciate that it's one thing to be like, I'm really good at Halo, okay, great, but it speaks more when people understand that there's a way to measure your total ability. So you have a situation where Twin Galaxies is starting to take in all these scores on different platforms and different things you submit, and you're just starting to produce something there for yourself. But let's just say a huge chunk of your skill set is in speed running. That's great. You can go over to speedrun.com and you can do that over there, but none of that achievement is computed into your skill index. And it's a tremendous loss for you as a player because we are not able to include and add that to the measurement. And so there's a bunch of things to talk about. There's things to talk about with the speedrun community, which is they probably don't realize that they're just one corporate decision away from serious amount of challenges, because a lot of these guys use Twitch as their archiving. And you have to understand, Amazon bought Twitch, and Amazon sells cloud services. So you have to realize that at some point Amazon's going to go, wait a minute, you're giving away all this free cloud storage, and it's degrading our business models over here, because we have clients over here that are saying, well, why am I paying this if you're going to give this stuff away for free? So they'll put pressure on Twitch to narrow that archive down. Probably, hey, we'll store your video for a week or two, then you got to get it off. We're not going to store your videos just for free all the time anymore, right? And I don't care if you highlight them. Well, then what's going to happen? Well, the speedrun community, which has a lot of its speedruns stored in the Twitch archives, well, they'll have to all pull the videos down, and then what are they going to do? They're going to try to upload them to YouTube, right? Well, now YouTube comes into play with their content ID system. And so a lot of these speedruns will get struck just because of the content ID system striking them, boom, 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 boom. So, and a lot of these speedrun performances are amazing. The people in the speedrun community are doing amazing things. It puts tears in my eyes to think that these performances that could get lost, or like, where do you go? So, another side effect of the Twin Galaxies system is, submit your stuff over to speedrun, do all that, that's great, but also participate on this scoreboard, and it will also store the achievement in an environment that's not under threat. Yada yada yada. The list goes on and on. So there's got to be a conversation. There's got to be some sort of understanding and a step-by-step thing. And just know that we're thinking about this at Twin Galaxies a lot. And there's people from the Twin Galaxies community who want to see this happen or are helping guide the process in baby steps. Tracks that are in adjudication are for those speed run tracks that are turned off. So what happens if it gets accepted? They go into an infinite holding pattern of infiniteness until we turn them on. So there you go.
Good answer.
Why is there unnecessary censorship on the forums? Example, the word cheap gets blocked out. In regard to the other PG-13 words, we're all adults here, and at least over 18 years, right? Old, right? If it's okay to unintentionally swear in our adjudication videos every now and then, why can't we let an S or F word fly in writing? Okay, why is there unnecessary censorship on the forums? Let me answer that. Be quiet. You see, I just censored you. It was very necessary, because now I don't have to hear that question. Did you see that? See how that works? That is amazing. That's why. No. Listen, the censorship filter at Twin Galaxies is pretty heavy-handed. It's all automated, of course, and it's doing a couple things. One is, obviously, it's looking for creative uses of various words and just eliminating them out for everybody's, so that no one needs to come in and look at that stuff. But also, you got to understand there's like 100 million bots out there trying to put ads for Viagra and all these other things on the website. And so it looks for words like cheap because they're associated with deep discounts and coupons, and it blocks that out too. So that's why you'll get some of these weird crossovers where, why is that word blocked out? Well, you think of it, well, would it be used in a Visalis ad or something like that? Probably. So it's getting blocked, and then that triggers the system to, because you notice, for the most part, Twin Galaxies has remained fairly spam-free. It's only every now and then you'll see something, but it's not being bombed out by unnecessary posts or anything. and we don't have to moderate in the same way as classicarcadegaming.com, where someone's physically approving everything constantly, right? So it's a side effect that we all have to live with. Yes, it's a little bit Disney over at Twin Galaxies, just a little bit. And you're just going to have to keep your stinking potty mouth pie holes shut. Did I say that? I was kidding. Okay. Let's move on. Oh, let's see. Wait. I'm looking at the text chat. All right, here. Yeah, Supernox, they are going to eventually charge for space. And Twitch, he's talking about. And yeah, and it's not going to be cheap. And it's going to suck compared to, it's just, Twitch is not in that business. You just have to understand they're not in that business. That's not their business. So, and the minute Twitch wants to start charging for that space, then it's going to open up the opportunity for other streaming competitor. It's just, it's like a, it's great. All that stuff can go. Just let's put up our speedrun tracks, and those who want to participate on them can. Okay. Searching for games with a simple name can be problematic if you don't know the platform, or if you want to see the game is on another platform. Consider adventure for the Atari 2600. All sorts of games have adventure in their title. Now that one isn't so bad because adventure will likely still be at the beginning of the list, but a search for something like Turtles is obnoxious since it comes with countless hits on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If an exact hit is found, could that hit be put first, even if a partial match happens? Yada, 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 yada. Okay. Search technology, as you know, is just a whole thing unto itself. We are going to be simplifying at Twin Galaxies. Everything is going to be platform driven. You're going to lose the ability to just randomly type in a word and have Twin Galaxies just look at all the words of all the video games and then pull it up. And then somehow we got to do some sort of bubble sort list to figure out that you wanted Turtles first instead of the Turtles, or you can't do it. I mean, we could, but there's other places to spend resources. So instead,
hang on.
Yes, I'm hanging on. All right, I hung on for a second. So instead, everything will be platform driven. You go to search to look for anything. What platform do you want to look on? That will be the start, and from there, everything else will be managed. This is important just for noobs showing up. And yeah, you'll lose the ability to find out, like, on Twin Galaxies, like, that they're, like, if you type in Turtles, that there's, like, Turtles on 2600, there's Turtles on, you'll lose that ability, but you know what? Use Google for that. We want to make the Twin Galaxies as easy to use as possible, and so you're going to see some things coming up here. I'm going to give you guys an early look at some things to help you understand how we're going to go about that. Let's see. Computer Geek, can I be a mod? Well, we don't really have mods, not exactly. We have there's a whole issue with the volunteer thing, right? It's like we're either paying people like Franny to do their job, and then that's it. And that doesn't create all this weird privilege and conflict of interest and historic Twin Galaxies nonsense. Okay, let's go. So, coming soon, cool icons. So you can find your platforms visually, as well as a drop-down menu. But here's a good example. These are all custom icons the Twin Galaxy staff's putting together. You see 3DO, Amstrad, Android, Apple II, the Apple II GS, all the icons. See, so if you're searching for, let's say, Atari 2600, right? And you want to click it. And there it is, the Atari 2600 VCS. So let's say I click that. Once I click it, boom! There's the Atari 2600, and then all Atari games will be listed underneath that. See how much easier that is? See how much cleaner that looks? And then what? See, the thing is, so if you notice here, you're able to search by competitor, or you'll search by platform. This is like the top level. Super easy. Then once you pick your platform, it takes you to the platform. Once you're inside the platform tree, you can search by competitors on that platform, or you can search by game title. So when you type in Turtles here, it will only pull up Turtles on the 2600. It's not going to pull up Turtles on every single platform everywhere. So much more straightforward, easy for a noob to find what they're looking for. Also, when you're in submission review, the icon, the platform icon, will appear next to the actual adjudication thread. And then you'll see there's a if you look right here, there is a drop down for what platform do you want to look at submissions at. So if you just have all of them, you'll just see all the icons of all the different platforms and all the different. But if you only want to look at, let's say, arcade or Nintendo DS, you just pick arcade or Nintendo DS in the drop down, and then you'll just see all the icons and all of the stuff there. So it's super easy to search, sort, only adjudicate the platforms that you want to do it on. And again, this is just all in that move to make things easy, simple, and easy. And by the way, this was talked about like a couple times in the past. We'll address the colorblind issue at this time for the whether you voted or not, because right now we're using red and green or whatever. We'll use different icons, so that you will know, that will be easy. Does anybody have any questions about this? Hopefully you can see how much easier and simpler everything will look and be to find and to do, and there you have it. Make sense? Did I lose everybody? Everybody here? Bueller? I guess it takes like 10 seconds for people to be able to.
Yeah, you're here. We're here.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. You're playing hockey. Okay. So then there's even more cool stuff coming on. So all of you who are watching, please pay attention closely. Lo and behold, the Twin Galaxies personal profile wall page that every user will have. This will be your landing page, and it will be the central point in which you will be able to do a bunch of things within the Twin Galaxies community, made a lot easier. The forums are still there, everything is still there. But when you, so normally when you go to the front page of Twin Galaxies, you get the news feed and there's just the front page. Then you log in and it just takes you right back to the front page. Well, the way it will work is you're going to log in, and once you log in, it will take you to essentially your Facebook Twin Galaxies page. But it's all in Twin Galaxies. It's not Facebook. So now you're on the Twin Galaxies. Your own. This is Twin Galaxies Facebook page, or we're calling it a chronicle. You get your own chronicle to chronicle your gaming experience, right? So you get your own Twin Galaxies chronicle, and on it there are a bunch of interesting things. One is you'll be able to just simply, you'll notice here, there's a Twitch feed. This would be, you can enter in your Twitch stream here, and whenever you're live, it'll appear here. Whenever you're not, it won't. So if someone just goes to your Twin Galaxies Chronicle, they can just instantly find or see or watch your live feed. And when you click the actual feed, you actually stay within Twin Galaxies, but it pulls up the chat, and the whole thing works amazingly. In fact, if you've not ever seen that, if you've never tried it, we have sort of an earlier version of it. If you haven't tried the functionality of the Twitch stuff that we got, let me show you how it works real quick. There's still some work to do. That's why we don't really talk about the live stream stuff. But we actually, if there's a little Twitch icon at the top when you click it, and it'll take you over to the member live streams page. And it actually pulls up a bunch of live streams of Twin Galaxies members. And it shows who's live and who's not and all this other stuff. So this is what will actually appear on your wall page. So let's say you clicked it, right? Well, when you click it, it actually pulls up the stream. You stay within Twin Galaxies, right? Like the drop downs are here. Everything's still there. And the chat is embedded, so you have the chat. And so you're still within the environment, but you still can watch the stream and participate and log in and do that, all that other stuff. So it totally works, and it's totally cool. Okay, so back to where I was. Okay, so you'll have your stream on your page. All of your friends that you can friend on Twin Galaxies, right, will appear here. You'll have a You'll have a photo section. Will McAvoy, if you're listening, this will allow you, like Facebook, right, to upload your photos into your own page. You can mark whether they can be seen publicly or only by your friends, right? And I'll get to the last. There's a last part relating to videos. I'll get to that in a second. Here in your on your actual Chronicle, it's a much more powerful and flexible wall posting. It's essentially a full-blown blogging technology, so that you can do updates and have your own comments and system and moderation on your Twin Galaxies Chronicle page. But also, there you see there's a spot here that says My Activity. If you click that, this area here where your articles, your wall posts are, will disappear, and you'll actually see all of the forum threads that you've subscribed to or that you're tracking or posts. It'll all appear there as hot links. Boom, 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 boom. So you can immediately just click that and go to the forums wherever you want. And so this will be the foundation of how it's going to be super easy to do other things, because once you have your friends, we're working on, there's other things coming, but basically you'll be able to group really quickly, set up your own little private little tournaments. Those tournaments can have community respect on those leaderboards that you wind up building for those tournaments, and those can play into your player skill index. Obviously up here is all of your information about your records and your skill indexes. So you can upload photos, you can link with your friends, you can do your own updates. There's still the entire Twin Galaxies forum which goes on, and you can track those things and it'll reflect on your page so you never miss a thing. And lastly, there will be an optional video capability that you will be able to enable, where it will allow you to upload videos to your Chronicle and store them there, and you're not subject to a content ID system or anything like that. And the videos will be limited to, they must relate to video game culture in somehow, so they can be tutorials or instructionals or exhibitions or show-off stuff. Videos you want to upload, but they're not necessarily for submission, but you want them stored. And YouTube, as you know, you try to store your stuff up there, it's just ass. So you'll have your page. You can store your video game content all right here. Your pictures, your videos, your photos, boom, easily shareable. And we're going to be building in ways of accumulating participation value for doing such things, right? So this is one of the things that's being worked on, and it takes resources to do this. But we're pretty excited about it, and I think it'll give you a clear home base within Twin Galaxies that's yours to park your stuff, to do your thing, and still participate in the forums and all that other stuff. So it's not like Facebook in the sense that Facebook doesn't have forums, or it's not Facebook, and it's not to be used like Facebook. This is, I guess the best way to describe it is, if you scoped Facebook completely down to nothing but just your video game interests only, and it didn't have all that extra stuff that Facebook has, it just creates confusion, where it just boils down to posting photos, posting videos, and doing your little wall update, and that's all you care about doing for your video gaming, boom, we got you covered. Great that it's going to make it easier for you to have micro tournaments all to yourself, and those tournaments can factor into, so there's all that other stuff, but hopefully from what you're seeing, it looks easy to use. It feels familiar. You'll have your pictures and all that in a bag of chips. Did all that make sense? Did I lose anybody? Anybody? Bueller. Anybody have any questions about this? I think it'll be a notable shift. I think it'll be very inviting for players to put up their video game interests only. So, because if you have like a Facebook page, you can put your video game interests there, but you're also putting like your family stuff and all this other, it's like a mix. Whereas this is just your video game interests. Can I do that all over again? Nope, can't do that. Nope. Did this all make sense? Is this something that you guys even would want? Let me ask that. When this is implemented, do you want this? Or do you just want to live on Facebook for the rest of your life? But just mix everything up in there? Or do you want to do you not care? Or do you not I think Twin Galaxies as this scoreboard and competitive platform, basically having my own locker in that environment. This is my locker in my sports environment. Boom. This is where my stuff goes. That's what it is. And I want players, remember, this is going to cost you anything. There's no money involved in any of this except for perhaps when we start looking at the video stuff, because depending on how much you're uploading and all of that stuff, there could be some costs there, but that would be completely under your control and it wouldn't be to Twin Galaxies. So we'll figure that part out when we get there, but I want the capability there. Decidius. What did I miss? You missed everything, Decidius. You missed everything. You're going to have to watch the replay because I can't go through this again. But the bottom line is we're building in a Facebook-like component to Twin Galaxies, but it's very scoped down to only focus just on your video game culture stuff, the stuff that you want to post. It's not replacing any of the forums. All the forums are still there. You see it at the top of the screen. You can just still do that. But if you're tracking a bunch of threads, if there's things that you're interested in, it will show up on your wall so you don't miss anything. You don't have to do the hunt. And then when you want to do your own sort of missive, an update, you can just do that on your Chronicle. We're calling it the Twin Galaxies Chronicle page. You get your own Chronicle. You can do that. You can post on your page, and your friends can read it, or you can mark it for public for everybody. And it's your own little island inside of this competitive arena. It's yours to rule. Okay, moving on. So we're gonna do a little sneak peek. I've got some more information about the I hear things coming from the other room. We've got the Twin Galaxies Entertainment Festival. We're going to start to give some sneak peeks on some more information about the competition, but a video got put together. So let me show you it real quick. This is what you're going to be at. This is where the magic's going to happen. So take a look. October 2nd through the 4th. See, there's going to be people playing. It's a 3-day game culture festival, celebrating the culture of games. See, look at that. You want to be there playing. You want to be hanging out, kicking back. See, look at that. Do you see that big Twin Galaxies poster? All the fun arcade machines are there. We're going to have a bunch of top gaming personalities and celebrity guests and more coming to hang out. You can meet them. And there's a ton of pinball. A ton of pinball. All set on free play. That's just one of the rows. There's 3 rows like that. And see, we're flying through the galaxies. See that? Visual effects and everything. There you go. Okay, so we're having some contests there, and there will be prize money for winners of these various contests. And these contests are taking the shape of decathlons. And we're having contests for the Atari 2600, the Intellivision, the classic Nintendo, and arcade, classic arcade. So the way it's going to be set up is, and the thing is, really, we're going to be broadcasting this competition. So it's structured around being able to broadcast it live and to have a lot of people witness the performances and stuff. So these contests will be happening consecutively, not concurrently. And the contests are basically, if you're a player, here's what you're faced with. There's 10 games on the platform. You get 3 minutes for each game. You have to get a score on each game, and your cumulative score is your total score. And that's what you go up. That's you versus everybody else on that platform. And the winner takes the money. It's that simple. And we'll be broadcasting it live. And we're going to have celebrity commentators come in for each one of the platforms and talk while this is taking place and monitor and look for any shady activities. It'll be fun. So I want to give you a little sneak peek as to what the games are likely to be. We haven't finalized this and who's coming, but I wanted to give you guys a little sneak peek on there. So let's start with, boom, the Atari 2600 Decathlon. Todd Rogers is coming. He is going to be our celebrity commentator on the couch while this is taking place, and he is the one who has chosen the 10 games that are going to be played in the decathlon. There will be some exhibition stuff where you could challenge Todd Rogers to try to win some money by beating him at things that you'll never beat him at. But this is as legit as it gets, right? We got Todd Rogers, we've got the Atari 26. Well, technically, we're going to use Atari flashbacks. Why? Because they have, we got to have 10 of them, and we need, a video output that is workable and doesn't have to go through 5,000 conversions to get it up into the live broadcast. But Todd has approved this. He has chosen the games. It is going to be on. And this is, it's been a long time since an Atari 2600 competition is broadcast live. And there's going to be money, like actual real money, for winning it. Not baby money. Like, money that will last you more than a dinner. Okay? So I'd say there's the game list. Now, there's a couple of things. These games might change. These are all picked by Todd. A couple of them might change. The order that you play them in or have to play them in might change as Todd decides some of that stuff. But this is your chance. This is your chance to come to the event and show us what you got. Okay? It doesn't get any more fundamental than the Atari. You got a joystick and a button, boom. All right, let's move on to the next one. Pow. Intellivision, the Intellivision Decathlon. So Keith Robinson, as you know, he owns Intellivision, and he's going to be there, and he's going to be our expert sitting on the couch commentating during the Intellivision Decathlon. He has chosen the 10 games to be played. We're going to use the Intellivision flashback because we need the video output. And Keith has approved that. And again, if you sit out there thinking that you have the fundamentals, here's your chance to publicly prove it. Because when you do this, we're building a stage, like a broadcast stage. This is all up on the stage. There's going to be like 5 Intellivisions that way and 5 Intellivisions this way, and then the couch and the commentators and us watching the action and the whole audience out there watching what's going on the big screen. So you need to get in there and do your stuff, okay? 3 minutes per game. Bam, 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 bam. This is not for the weak or the excuse making. That's all I'm saying. Let's see, moving on to the next one. Classic Nintendo Decathlon. Andrew Spartacus, Andrew Spartacus, He's our expert. He's coming in. As you know, he has a ton of records. And he's the one who's chosen the 10 games for NES. We are having a discussion about using the Retron 5 because it has HDMI out and it has a good, and as long as we verify that these games play correctly on the Retron 5, we'll use that because using 10 classic Nintendos can pose a technological video output challenge. And I don't want to be trying to split the video and degrading people's signals and all this other stuff, but we will have classic Nintendo controllers. People will not have to use the Retron controllers. We will have proper NES controllers, of course. Of course. Again, here are the games. You should start practicing. Write the list down. Start practicing. See what you can put up. Because it's going to get heated in there. It's going to be on. People are going to show up, and they're going to be quite serious. Trust me. And again, Andrew will be there. He'll be sitting on the couch, going over the commentary. It's going to be exciting. Let's move on to the next one. Boom! The arcade decathlon. Now, for reasons of Robert Maruzcek, he can't be there because he's in accounting and there's like corporate accounting during the time frame of October. But he has, and this is still pending, these things are still pending in terms of the final guaranteed games, but he has been the one who is choosing the arcade games that are going to be played. He's looking at the order. The order can change. These are not final, but you're getting a sneak peek in this. A sneak peek. So here you go. The arcade decathlon. Look at the games. You're going to show up. The original machines are going to be there. And hopefully, you'll have some skill. Hopefully, you'll be able to do something. You're going to have, Billy Mitchell and all those guys are going to be at this event, watching, judging. This is your opportunity on a live broadcast. It's kind of like that That's Incredible thing that you saw with the Twin Galaxies where they broadcast on NBC. This is it, man. 3 minutes per arcade machine. Get a total score. What do you got? Can you do it? Do you have what it takes? Do you have what it takes? Robert is very experienced in knowing what kind of arcade games make sense in a 3-minute time period in terms of keeping the scores close. He's thinking about all that stuff, and I actually have a call with him later tonight to go over it even further. But again, money is on the line. You'll be winning cash for these tournaments, for these contests. Also, we haven't fully announced it, and I'm not going to give you the details, but Robbie Lakeman and Wes Copeland are going to duel it out on Donkey Kong, and not in a traditional way. So there'll be more information about that soon, but there's going to be a face-off on that one, on Donkey Kong. Think of it like the Donkey Kong Olympics. And so you'll get to witness that live as well. So in any case, sign up for the Twin Galaxies Entertainment Festival. Make sure you come and show up and participate in the competitions. We are deciding whether or not we're going to have early sign up for the actual competitions or if it's just you got to be there and get in on it. So I think that's the end of the presentation. Oh, it is. You see the words "the" and "end." Oh, look, 2 guys trying to sneak by. There's guys over here sneaking by, waiting for me to attack them, but I won't because I am a generous and giving. Good man. There you go. See, I'm just going to say hi, and that you guys are wonderful people.
And that meat is delicious.
Yeah, if I could ever taste it, I'm sure it will be. So I eagerly await my dinner.
I have been assigned to one of the guys.
Good. Hopefully he won't quit before he finishes. All right. See you guys. How much time do I got? 8 minutes? Through how many? 3? I have 3 minutes left. Do you have any questions of anything that I said? Any concerns, any tears, any fears, any beers? Kill screen. I think the event is going to turn out to be a lot more fun than people realize. I think it's going to be, you know, it's set up to be fun. The orientation is for it to be fun. So hopefully people will do it. Telebro, you wrote something, but I think there's staticky connection, so I can't read it. What is the cutoff to sign up for the tournaments? I don't think there is one. I think you're all the way to the moment that the tournament starts, you can get in. And the only way that it won't is if it turns out there's so many competitors that it will take too much physical time for everybody to play through the 10 games. Because you have to figure we'll have 10 machines, 3 minutes apiece, so we can do 10 people at a time, 3 minutes. So let's say if we had 100 competitors, it would take us 10 3-minute segments to get through 100 competitors. So that would be what? And so get rounded up to like 5 minutes. So it would probably take us an hour to get through 100 competitors on one game. And there's 10 games. So it would take 10 hours to get through. So there obviously is going to be some mathematical cutoff. So make sure you're there, man. You saw the game list, practice the fundamentals, and get it done. I don't want to see any Bambi tears when people are there. I don't want to see it. I want to see joy and smiles and more joy. I just got told from the back there that I have 1 minute left. So what can I do with that last minute? Every minute in life counts. So let's make this last minute count. Will there be a door giveaway? Well, there's a user in the chat named Telebro, and if he shows up, we're going to give him away at the door. Okay? So if you want a Telebro, you'll get one. I'm actually not sure if there will be a door giveaway. There probably will be. The people who are organizing this, there's a lot. There's paintball. There's a bunch of food. It's like a big, giant kind of Renaissance fair, but video game culture type event. It's not just competitive.
There's paintball. Yes.
Yeah, they're having a paintball thing there. That's what I've been told. It's going to be like. I have 10 seconds left. What I want is them to have those little blow up things where you can go in and jump around. I want to see Mike Soroka jumping around in there.
With paintball guns.
With paintball. I'm out. I got to go. Bye.
Twin Galaxies.